Hi, I'm Nina, class number B5, and assigned to us is the painting called Blue, which is made by RG Bandoy, born 1973. This was completed in 2020, and it consists of oil and varnish on canvas. So let's take a look at the painting. I guess the most obvious and immediate impression is the blue in the very center of the canvas. I'm going to talk about the lines of this painting first. So, seeing the boom, we can see that the shape of it is quite geometric and the lines are very sharp. However, it's contrasted by its background, which is quite muddled and it's not as sharp and it's not very clear. So, let's take a look at the lines of what's in this background. So, I can see some lines from the painting strokes, very light lines over here, and I think the rest of it are quite dark now. It kind of honestly just looks like splatters, not very intentional lines. And what I noticed is the shape of the star is not as sharp and geometric as the letters in the lighter letters. But for the rest of it, it's not as defined. So your eyes are really drawn to the blue right in the very center because as compared to its background, it's lighter in color, it's also sharper, and it just draws attention to it. And I can also observe that the letters extend until the very edge of the canvas. So we have half of an O here, whereas there's also space right here before the letter B. So it's not in the very center, and it extends outside of the canvas. And on to the next part, we have Rafa Alvela to talk about the value.
Okay, so
color,
beginning
and
with the value aspect of the artwork itself, the painting makes use of the very dark background, and through this backdrop, we see the bold letters painted in a much lighter golden shade. Now, the strong contrast between dark and the light basically emphasizes the text and makes it stand out, as the central element or the central focus of the viewers. Now, through the technique of the artist as well, using tonal differences, it guides our attention to the text. Now, moving on to the color, the dominant hues here are the warm tones like the gold, orange, and then the browns. And with the piece using a narrow palette, it makes it feel more unified and then focused as well. For the texture of the artwork, the surface of the painting does not really look flat or smooth, but instead it seems to have used visible or built up layers of paint. And through the texture, it introduces us to irregularities across the surface, which adds depth more than just the color in the line of the artwork itself.
Good afternoon, my name is Basti Castillo, and in this painting, it's meant to focus your attention into the sort of center of the painting, but it's kind of asymmetrical, and it's almost meant to move your eyes from left to right, and the blue doesn't even really finish. So yeah, and we see here the technique. It's very it's not just one stroke, and there are rough patches, and it's a very scratchy feel, and it's almost supposed to make you feel uncomfortable and kind of eerie. Makes you kind of feel like you're in hell. It's supposed to be scary, and it's very shiny, almost